Things were good. Almost normal.
Los. Was? Woods? Odin, Sven, Colvin, Gregory, Sam, Molly, Barbara und Gus. Und Edith natürlich. Awesome, great job.
But it didn't last.
Okay, wurden die zu Hause unterrichtet? Ich glaube, das ist unser Date. To teach and to learn. Dawn Finch.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Wie cool. Als Geburtstagsgeschenk für einen 10-Jährigen.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Tja, es ist nicht gewiss, ob der tot ist, ne? Der hat keine Todesanzeige. Das ist eine Tür.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Der Milton.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Ja. Na. Ein Daumenkino und Daumenkino. Und das ist die Tür. Mhm. Ist hier in einer seiner Bilder verschwunden?
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Aber da steht 2003 als Todestag, ne? In unserem Buch. Hier sind wir, 1990, geboren. Und der Milton steht hier bei 2003. Das ist so schön, ja.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Tja, ist er halt da durchgegangen? Oder was ist passiert? Er hat auf jeden Fall sehr gern mit Schwarz gemalt. Das ist irgendwie keine bunten Bilder, die er gemacht hat. Da oben. Okay.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Okay. Das ist der die Dosen nach Hause gebracht hat.
Everyone always told me to stay out of
Yeah.
Louis's room. Except Louis.
Sieht ja gut aus. Ach, das ist ein Boot. Ach, cool. Ein Boot als Zimmer.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Shisha. Der war wohl mehr so auf der spirituellen Welle. Legalized Marihuana. Ja. Dieser sehr spezielle Geruch von ihm. Verstehe. The Red King's Dream. Mhm.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to
Ja.
wander.
Ah, okay, jetzt muss ich Fische schneiden und, okay.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small,
Oh Gott.
imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something
Oh Gott, ist das schwierig.
bats
Wieder mal so.
and toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head.
Es werden ja immer mehr Fische.
But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I
wird immer
even
größer.
encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
King Louis, King Louis.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Ach je, oh Gott.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
Gut.
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on.
Okay.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of
eine hübsche Königin, eine hübsche Königin.
handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for
Leuchtende Regenbögen.
radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her
Er folgte dem Klang einer Harfe.
silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Oh Gott. Ist ja nichts mehr.
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Zu viel Fisch.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Okay.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Müssen wir da jetzt hoch?
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
Oh.
The palace would be packed with his companions.
Höret her, höret her. König Louis ist
The
eingetroffen.
wise Calico and insisted on inviting him. His queen waited, holding his crown.
War die riesige Katze. Die Musik ist total cool.
Thing left to do.
Gibt nur noch eins zu tun. Oh nein. Nein. Ich will nicht.
Bend down his head.
Nein. Will ich nicht. Habe ich direkt erkannt. Ah. Okay, let's go. Scheiße. Und ciao.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Ach je. Der war ja wirklich fernab.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Tja. Was lernen wir daraus? Finger weg von Drogen, hm?